Hey guys, and welcome to another Oxen tutorial. In this video, we'll do a super quick tutorial into some very basic diff functions. Now, our diff feature is basically to find differences between a dataset's versions or two different datasets. In this example, we're just going to go through the documentation and actually do the different examples and give you a very basic intro to it. If you want to follow along, the link is down below for the documentation. You can sign up, create your free account, and get started with some very, very simple and useful data analysis features. So let's jump right in. The first thing you want to do is actually go to where where's your file, fill out the file path, where is your actual data stored. Now, I don't actually have any data, but I'm going to create data, right? So let's do vim dataset.csv, and you're actually given an example right here to build a very simple data frame and to basically show you how our diff feature can be very powerful, especially from your terminal. So I'm just gonna copy paste that in, save it, perfect. And now I have a little data set, right? So before we continue, we wanna actually add and commit to our local repo because we wanna be able to see the differences between any changes we make to this data and the version that we committed. So let's quickly initialize Oxen init. Oxen add. It's just like Git and GitHub. The commands are super intuitive. It's a create dataset. Perfect. Done. All right. So we have the committed dataset, and we've committed it with the message create dataset. Perfect. All right. So now the next step to be able to actually use a diff feature is let's actually add a line. Why not? So let's add a line. If you realized if we're not even sure about what the data shape is or what's the data frame, we could actually use another option feature, which is just df, which think of it like using pandas, but without having to set up a whole Python environment, right? So here we're able to see the shape of the data. We have a very simple prompt and category columns. They're both strings. One has a question, like what is the capital of France, or what is 2 plus 10, and the other one has a category that the question fits into. So if we wanted to add a row, let's say I already have one filled out, but what is 9 minus 3? We put in a little comma because it's a CSV, math, and then we put that into dataset.csv, right? So right now we just added a column, and if we go and use Oxen diff, D-I-F-F, not to be confused with df, which is data frame, diff is just differences. If we were to go to Oxen diff, dataset, then what we're going to see is all the differences between our last commit and the added row that we just made, right? So we should see one, yep, perfect. One added, shape 1 and 3 columns. Now the reason we have 3 columns is not because it messed up and added an extra column, but because we also have a diff status column that we add in for you guys that doesn't actually affect the original data, but you can choose to add it if you want to do more data analysis in your pandas environment, not in pandas, in your Python environment, or if you just want to have a deeper look. Let's say you have 1,000, 100,000, a million rows, and let's say you remove 200,000 of them or 2,000 of them, and you want to learn more about the rows that you removed or you added, vice versa, whatever you want. We basically have this status for you here to see what's added, what's been removed. There you go. So for us to remove, again, all these commands are in the documentation, so make sure to click down below if you want to follow along or check yourself. For us, we use sed to remove a row, and we use -i. If you're Mac, then you need to include this double empty single quotes. If you're on a Linux machine, you do not have to actually include this, but from there, we specify which row we want from the top down. So this would be the second row, this would be the third row, this would be actually I did the same thing twice, this would be the fourth row, right? So if we want to, let's say we want to remove the math question, we want to have 2 geography to start and then the math at the very end of the data set. Then let's do 3D. So we have, the first one is the actual name of the columns. The second one is the second one. The third one. So we want 3D. Let's run it. And if we use Oxen diff again, what we're going to find is we're going to have two rows manipulated, one removed, one added. We're going to have 2 different diff statuses, and we're going to have we're going to see the visualization of what we've actually changed. So row changes, 1 added, 1 removed. Shaped, 2 rows, 3 columns, 1 removed, 1 added. And make sure to click the link down below to get your free account. Oxen is perfect even if you have a single CSV to millions and millions of photos, videos, whatever it may be. were great for your data, and especially to iterate and visualize different changes throughout time. So hope to see you in the next video where I'll be diving into a little bit deeper the diff functionality, but thank you guys so much for watching.